Hey astronauts, it's Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. So today I have another wonderful reading for you guys. It is the general 2020 prediction. Yes, I already have a love prediction up on my channel, but then I realized, Brandy, you didn't do the 2021. So here we are doing the 2020 general reading for you guys. We have 5 piles for you to choose from. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5. All right, so kick back and relax and let's get started. Oh wait, before we get started, I must mention that I will be out for 2 weeks. So if you are looking to get a reading, you're gonna have to wait that 2-week period. I will be working on the launch of my website and I hope you guys really enjoy it. I have spent a good amount of time and effort on it and I really want to spend these next 2 weeks just really focusing my energy on that. So if I don't have any readings posted or you know, I'm a little bit behind on videos, it's because I'm working on that for you guys and I want it to be, you know, good, obviously. So with that in mind, let's get started and go. Okay, pile number 1, let's get started on your reading. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the Page of Swords, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. So for 2020, what it seems like to me is like this is one of those years where you're looking to address any sort of issues that you've had like lingering in the past, any sort of past patterns that you want to break. Like let's say, for example, you always fall for a certain type of person. And you're like, why do I keep running into this type of person? 2020 is the year you kind of like reevaluate that and really think hard about the things that you're holding on to, and you will decide to leave the things behind you realize no longer serve you. You're going to address things, like I said before, an example, like if you always fall for a type of person who just like cheats on you or something, you're like, well, why am I doing that? You really think about it and you analyze it and you step out of that zone. It doesn't necessarily have to be that example. It just any sort of behavior or pattern or emotional crutch that you're holding on to that's inhibiting you from moving forward, you're going to let go of, okay? And it's going to take some time because we do have this 4 of Pentacles here. So it says to me like early on in the year, you're not going to want to let go of these things. You're going to be like, you know, you've put in so much time and effort to make things happen because the 4 of Pentacles is coming out of that 3 of Pentacles energy. And that 3 of Pentacles energy is about that effort into completing something, into making something, you know, beautiful and wonderful and, you know, exactly how you want it to be. And you're realizing whatever it is that you've been working on or working towards is not beneficial towards you. Okay, so when it comes to, I'll say, because this is mainly a general reading, there is some love things coming up. Like with the 6 of Cups, it does sometimes represent past people, but not all the time. A lot of the times I get the 6 of Cups to represent more so family or family matters. So there could be a period of time where you have some distance between you and your family, either physical distance or emotional distance. The cards, you know, you know how the cards are. They aren't going to get that specific, but it's just representing distance between you and family members or distance between you and close ones and loved ones, okay? But that's not the point what I was trying to make. What I was trying to make when it has to do to sort of job situations, with the 4 of Pentacles here, it sort of represents not being satisfied where you are because when we have this 4 of Pentacles, it's like someone who's holding on so tightly for things not to change because they feel like any sort of thing that can rock their foundation will set them into the 5 of Pentacles mode, and the 5 of Pentacles is what comes next. So they sort of like worry themselves to death in trying to be perfect and succeed and do everything right and by the book so that they get what they want, and they feel like it's a lot. It's a lot to ask for someone to sort of be like perfect and live by this regiment all the time. Especially when it comes to your career, you may feel like that you are under like a watchful eye, or you're like under pressure to perform a certain way, or you're under pressure to keep being like consistently great in everything that you do. And I only say great in everything you do because we have the Queen of Pentacles here, which would imply that you are pretty good at what you do, whether that's you being in school and studying hard and getting good grades, or whether you have a job and you excel in whatever it is that you excel in, or a career where you have a skill that you're pretty great at. It's just saying that you feel like this need to keep things up and keep things going. And the Four of Pentacles definitely has that sense of anxiety and stress about it. It's not always like, a lot of times this card is predicted as being like selfish, or, you know, not thinking about other people. But Four of Pentacles is quite an insecure card because they're so concerned about, you know, things falling apart at any moment that they can't even really enjoy their present state, which their present state is very stable, but they just feel like at any moment, like things could just be swept, the rug can be swept from under them. Okay, that's not going to happen. Obviously in 2020 you have the Queen of Pentacles here. You're going to leave this year in a better financial position than when you started, or you may even have a better job opportunity, because we have this Four of Pentacles and the next card is the Eight of Cups, and the next Eight of Cups is about leaving a situation. So it's like you're leaving, getting out of a situation where you felt like you had to really be very tight about your finances and decisions you make regarding that, or you were at a job where you felt like you had to be very regimented and like you couldn't, there's no room for error, and you're going to be like, I'm out of this situation, like this is done, like I'm no longer going to put myself under this pressure or stress to perform in a way, and you're going to end up in a way better place. Like the Queen of Pentacles, like I don't even know how much higher you can get. It's just saying that you're going to be in a place of satisfaction, whether that's, like I said, a new job opportunity or a new sort of promotion at work, or whether it's saying that you managed to maybe take on a side business and a side hustle and you get that money. But whatever it is financially, you are sound coming into 2020. Not coming into, but by the end of 2020. I should say also with 2020, because we got this Six of Cups card, it does kind of indicate like, it's like how I said to you before, there would be some distance. There could be some distance between you and potential family members. But it's like before then, before that sort of moving away, or sort of like leaving behind people who aren't good for you or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean people aren't good for you. Like you could literally just like move. But before that happens, you will be spending quite a bit of time with them. And for some people, sometimes when I get the Six of Cups, it represents children and pregnancy, especially when we have the Page of Swords here. So maybe some of you guys, also with the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles can be like, well, she can be pregnant. Queen of Pentacles often represents like those daily taking care of someone or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyday sort of routine activities, like changing diapers, you know, feeding a baby or something like that. So that's the only reason I mentioned you possibly could be having a kid, or, you know, spending a lot of time with your own kids if you have any. When we have the Page of Swords here, it does say that there's going to be a lot of like emails and texting and calling going back and forth in 2020. And a lot of it's going to not be of any like real importance to you. It's just going to feel like it's a little bit, well, it's just more like sociable. It's not like anything that's like profound. Like you're just going to feel like you're just kind of like talking to people, kind of getting to know people, kind of being very friendly towards people. But for the most part, it's not anything that you're like, oh, I'm receiving some crazy news this year and things are really, I'm receiving some like really, you know, deep messages or something. No, for the most part, you're going to feel like, why is everyone texting me? Like, you're going to feel like you're going to be a little bit, I'll say you're going to be a little bit irritated by the fact that people are like, you know, sending you memes and stuff, or like sending you like GIFs, or is it pronounced GIFs? I say it as GIFs, but some people say it's GIFs. Or sending you GIFs and pictures and JPEGs and all that stuff, and texting you this and that about the third, and letting you know this gossip, this office gossip and that thing, and you're just kind of like, this isn't beneficial towards me. Like you're thinking long term, and you're gonna kind of feel like the people around you aren't taking up that same qualities, and I think that's going to only motivate you further into accomplishing what it is that you need to accomplish. You're just like, I can't even be surrounded by people who are just sending me all this silly stuff and talking to me about these things that I don't really care too much about. You're like, I need to put myself in an environment where I feel comfortable and I feel like my services are needed, and I can, feel like I'm just at home in my own space. Like you just looking for that in 2020, and you're going to get it by the end, but it's not going to come without, people questioning you and questioning your decisions and saying this and that. With the Page of Swords, it also does indicate that there may be someone coming into your life who is a very friendly sort of character, who wants to be friends in a way. This isn't like a very romantic card, but this person is just going to try to influence you. I don't know, I got look up to you or something, but like they're coming into your life and they are going to sort of change your perspective on a few matters in terms of like finances. It's more like you're not learning from them. It's more that you're like learning from their mistakes. Like there's going to be someone in your life that you see making a lot of different like financial mistakes, like practical things that they aren't doing. And you're like, whoa, like let me actually, not follow their lead, but like do the opposite of what this person's doing. I don't know who this person is, but you're just going to look at them and be like, I don't want to be like that. And you're going to be moving on to something better. But yeah, 2020 is really a good year in terms of like, you're going to get some sort of financial stability and whatnot. In terms of like romance, you might want to read the Love 2020, but like if you are in a relationship, you guys are you're either going to leave that person or you're going to get to a different stage in your relationship that's a little bit healthier for you, or you feel like you've gone to the next stage. If it is like, if everything's healthy, it's just like you guys are growing. If you're single, then what this is saying is, yeah, you may have people from the past come back, but more than likely with the Six of Cups, it's like you meet more people who are more like childlike and who are more like sweet and genuine, but they may not have a whole lot of a strong grip on like the practical world and what it needs, okay? And what you need to survive in it. So that is all I have for you, pile number one. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And just remember, I will begin doing private readings again in 2 weeks. And thank you guys. Bye. Hey, pile number two. If you've chosen one of the red presents, let's get started on your reading for 2020. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, we had the Queen of Pentacles last pile too, so maybe you guys want to check that out. We have the King of Wands, and we have the Lovers, and we have the 10 of Wands. All right. So this wasn't supposed to be like a love reading, but it's hard not to mention love when we have the Lovers card right in front of us. So I know a lot of you are women and are interested in men, so I have to say that we have this King of Wands character coming in to sort of reignite some passion in your life, and it's going to be a very overwhelming, especially at first. It may feel like this is a little bit more than you've bargained for. It's just a very strong, passionate connection, a very strong physical connection, I'll say that. In terms of someone coming into your life. But this person is also very, very busy with work, which honestly, I don't think you guys will mind because you're the Queen of Pentacles, so you guys know all about it. You're like work, huh? I know about work. Like, you're just like, it doesn't really matter. But this also says, okay, hold on, I'm getting a lot of crazy stuff. Okay. This also would indicate, with the Queen of Pentacles here and the Lovers and the 10 of Wands, it does indicate a lot of different orders. And I know that sounds like crazy, but every time I get the Lovers, because it's like that Gemini energy, it represents like receiving a package. Like if I'm just like, how's today gonna be like, and I get the Lovers, I may be receiving a package that day, okay? That's only because it brings in that Gemini energy. So sometimes when we have the Lovers next to the 10 of Wands, it just means that you may have ordered too much stuff. So in this year, it's kind of like over consumption, over consumerism, sometimes, not all the time. But there may be you may get to a point where you're like, man, I got too much stuff. I need to get rid of some things. All right. I'm just throwing that out there. That may be just a message for some of you. For another thing, it just may feel like that you are overwhelmed with responsibilities. You may feel like you are taking on the responsibilities of not only yourself, but of other people. Like if you are in a position, because sometimes when we have the Queen of Pentacles along with the King of Wands, it does represent being in a position of authority. And you may feel like those under you, like they can't handle the tasks that are be giving to them. So you're like trying to take on their tasks as well, which happens in a corporation. If you work in a corporate environment, something like that. Not even just a corporate environment, in other environments as well. But if you work in like a corporate environment, quite often you may be receiving a great deal of tasks, and you may feel like this is just insane, the amount of work they want people to do, and you have to end up taking on those responsibilities and helping, you know, the people who work under you out, as well as yourself. I've just seen that before with other people and such. But as well, this definitely means that in 2020, you guys will also have a strong luck with finances. For you guys, it's mainly like throughout the year that you come to this place where you feel like you're making some really good choices, but you kind of feel like at some point, at least towards the end of the year, you feel like you've gotten too many options and too many places to go and too many things to do. Like you may have taken on too much. It's just like when you, it's kind of a good thing in a sense, because with the Lovers card here, it's like saying that you have a lot of opportunities and they're all good opportunities. And so you in your mind, you're like, oh, I want to take these opportunities and, you know, take on as much as possible. Like I want to take advantage of all of this. Okay. That is you right now. Especially when we also have the Gemini Lovers card and the 10 of Wands. It may say you have, it's very similar to pile number 1, except for in this sense, this is more like deliveries and like junk mail and like people. Like I don't know why, but you guys are gonna come in contact with an overwhelming amount of people, especially with the Lovers. It's like saying, okay, we have it'd be like if we had the North Node in the 3rd house. If you don't know what that is, the North Node is like this area of your life where you're like obsessive, or it like amplifies things. It makes things like go over the top. Okay. So like if you had the North Node in your 1st house, you may be like someone who's very dramatic, or someone who's like very enthusiastic, or someone who may brag a lot, and someone who may seem like they have one personality one day and another personality the next day. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a lot to take on. So with the 10 of Wands here in the Lovers, it's like saying someone has like the North Node in their 3rd house, and the 3rd house represents communications. It also represents skills, okay, and responsibilities and effort. So you'll be putting a lot of effort in 2020. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, it's gonna be a very tiring year for you. It's going to be like you're going to have so much that you need to tackle and so many things that you need to do. But the thing about the 10 of Wands, these are things that you are passionate about, especially when it's next to the Lovers card. It's like seeing these are things that you love doing and love taking on. So I don't know if you're an entrepreneur or something, or if you just deciding to take on some new skills and hobbies, and it's a little bit hard to do balancing your work life and maybe studying, or, you know, et cetera, and this and that. But these are all things that are beneficial to you. It's just going to be pretty tiring coming through, and you're going to feel like I can't take on all of this. So towards the end of the year, you're going to start let go of those responsibilities and get a little bit more selective about what it is that you take on and what it is that you want to do. And I also wanted to mention with this amplified sort of 3rd house energy, it does represent a lot of driving, a lot of short trips, a lot of like maybe not long distance travel, but maybe short distance traveling. And I only say it's not long distance because with the 10 of Wands, they can't go very far with all this stuff on their back and all these things they need to take on. So it's like saying you're going to be running a lot of different errands. You're going to be talking to a lot of people. Like your social life is going to be a little bit overly active, and people just want to speak to you in general. And I think it may have to do with not only that, because the Queen of Pentacles represents not only that, it has to do with you looking good, basically. The Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands is someone who, someone takes care of themselves and the way they look, and this is their King of Wands, someone takes care of their like physical body, physical shape. So there's an aspect of sort of leveling up in a sense. I don't know how else to even phrase that, but with the Page of Wands here, This is another card that represents communication. It's interesting. The other one we have Pages of Swords, and Page of Wands is definitely someone who runs a lot of errands. I don't know how else to emphasize that, but you will be running a lot of simple errands, whether that is you sort of like picking up things from the store, you know, looking for things to decorate your home with. Granted, I don't think it's more your home. It may be like I've got to go to the gas station and refill, and you know, I got to get some gum here, and oh my gosh, we're out of detergent, and I need some deodorant, and like it's just like you're running a lot of errands in 2020. Good thing is you're making a lot of progress, and there's like a strong romantic interest. Like I said before, that you guys will have a deeper connection. Now, do I know if this is more, you know, karmic, more like a spiritual, more like a, you know, marriage thing? It's not, I'm going to say it's not super clear, but it does indicate some sort of romantic connection and being like a strong physical attraction in that sense. When we have the Page of Wands here, I do want to say that you'll be up on your feet a lot. You're going to be not missing a beat. It's just a card to represent that if you are looking for a job or something like that, you're going to find it, especially when we have all these. It's weird. Like I can't emphasize how social it's going to be this year. We have a page, we have a queen, we have a king, like, and we have the lovers. It's just saying you're going to have a very social time. But it's like Page of Wands is someone who can't get enough. They're like, I gotta go here, I gotta do that. That looks interesting, that looks new. So you're definitely going to be trying a new things. There may be some changing things up when it comes to your style or your appearance here, because Page of Wands, like I said, likes to try new things. This can also mean going to a lot of different new places, more luxurious places with the Queen of Pentacles here, or more places which are more scenic, because wands tend to indicate more like, I don't know how else to explain, like, it's not that pentacles don't represent nature, but wands in particular represents like hiking in nature and going on trails and stuff like that, or seeing things that are like more scenic. Or if you just like, it doesn't have to necessarily be natures, but more like things that are just more views, like scenic, like I said before. It's just more scenic things. But it's just kind of like knowing little areas of your city that you may not have discovered before and really appreciating them this time. You're just going to be very motivated in 2020. You're going to get a lot of things done. And I feel like you're going to look back and be very proud of yourself, because these are things that you did not expect. Like you went into the year and been like, how am I going to tackle all of this? Like there's so much I want to get done. And you're doing that and more by the end of the year. And it's just incredible. You go from like the Page of Wands to the King of Wands, like midway through the year. Like I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's incredible, and I just know that it's going to be a really fast-paced 2020 for you guys, but it's going to be very enjoyable, and there's going to be some, I don't know about surprises, but maybe unexpected goodies that you didn't expect. Like it's mainly, I don't know how to, it's mainly social. It's really mainly having a very active social life that you did not expect. Like, so if you're like a hermit and you're used to being inside and talking to yourself, maybe you find a group of friends on the internet. I don't know, but it's just saying that you're going to end up like learning a lot of new things, learning a lot more skills as well. And there's going to be a rise in confidence. And a rise in like taking care of your appearance and like etc. Okay, so that is all I have for you, pile number 2. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research on Instagram. And remember, readings start again in 2 weeks. And thank you guys for watching. And if you're not a part of the astronaut fam, then you guys got to subscribe. Come on. All right, let's go. All right, pile number 3. Let's get started on how your 2020 will be. We got the 9 of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Star, the Emperor again. Wow. The Knight of Wands. Let's do this like that. Do it in the right order, guys. Sometimes I lay things out and I'm just like, no, let's do it in the order Tarot told me to do it. Okay. This is incredible. I don't think I've ever gotten the Emperor twice in a reading, so I'm a little bit flabbergasted right now. But what it tells me is that you're going to boss up 2020. I mean, man, you're on your grind. You're not playing at all, okay? I wish, you know what? I'm making myself choose this pile. But yeah, with the Nine of Pentacles here, it does indicate being someone who's very independent, someone who takes care of what they need to take care of, you know, pay their bills, take care of the home, go to work, you know, or go to school, go to class, you know, balance that work and play life, taking care of their health, focusing on things that are beneficial towards them. That's you in 2020, and the Emperor here lets me know that you have a plan. And not only do you have a plan, but that plan is coming to fruition and it's being enacted, okay? You have this incredible amount of foresight, which you will use with you throughout 2020. It's like you can already see the things that could possibly go wrong or right, like ahead of time, because you're using your mind and your ability to think reasonably in order to get what you want, okay? So you're not doing things without a purpose. You're being very focused and goal oriented in 2020, and it's going to work out for you. You're going to get those things that you have been wishing for. And I say wishing for because we have the Star card here. So for you, it's not just like a hope or a dream. It's like actually happening in 2020. Now, I don't know what it is that you are wishing for, because we got the Emperor twice. I'm guessing that part of you is hoping to maybe meet someone on the same level as you. Like if you're single, then this would indicate, it can indicate one of two things. It could even indicate meeting, you know, someone who's also on their grind, someone who's also at the same level, someone who's also very, you know, career oriented, school focused, whatever it is, goal oriented. It's just someone who's just constantly like in a position of authority. And not only that, but someone who wants to be, who's very ambitious and a very high achieving person. Not only that, the second interpretation I'll say is this just represents, you know, possibly meeting like a husband. If you're into men, then this could mean, you know, you're meeting your husband this year, or maybe if you're already in a relationship, you'll get like engaged or something, okay? But the fact that we have two emperors, that's like double Aries, which is like double fire. So that already lets me know that this is another fast paced year. I don't know, but the last two piles have been, well, this pile and the last pile have been very fast paced and a lot of high energy, okay? You exerting a lot of force and a lot of energy into accomplishing whatever it is that you need to accomplish, like your dreams, okay? With the Star card here, I know that it's whatever that you've been dreaming for and hoping for to gather in 2020, like that's just going to happen. Like it's just like no doubt in my mind about it, especially if these dreams have to do with financial wealth, financial stability, have to do with a certain career, have to do with a certain lifestyle. That is exactly what you get, because the Emperor lives a very high lifestyle, a very, you know, fancy lifestyle, because he's the Emperor. And the fact that you got him twice lets me know that you're a little bit a cut above the rest. So even if it's just like you're not, you know, you're not like turning rich in 2020 or something like that, it's more like comparison to the people around you, you'll be one of the more stable of the bunch. You'll be the one who is more level-headed. And not only that, but that will show, and people will sort of see you as this well-accomplished person and authority-like person. And when we get the Star card here, something about it is just so glamorous and so beautiful. Like I remember when I was doing research for like you know, parties and interactions between people and certain proposals and all this stuff, the Star card came up to sort of represent this like very high, glamorous, beautiful, like, you know, if they had like fairy lights coming down from like a gazebo and flowers everywhere, then the Star card would be that, you know what I mean? It's just like over the top, like gorgeous. So it could just definitely mean that you are looking great in 2020. It could also just mean people perceive you to be like I said, a cut above the rest, a diamond in the rough, you know what I mean? Like they're just like, man, this person just seems like they have it all. Like they got the nice job, the nice house, they look good, you know what I mean? They have a purpose, they're focused, they're goal oriented. Especially when we have the Star representing Aquarius, which is like the 11th house, which is about the hopes and wishes and dreams. When we have, anytime I've ever had, we'll treat this as this if this was for planet Mars, okay? So this would be like Mars in the 11th house, okay? So anytime I've ever had Mars in the 11th house, it's like saying someone gets a lot of opportunities to make some money, okay? Which is not surprising when we have the Nine of Pentacles. It's funny how, you know, the cards kind of repeat themselves in different ways sometimes. But it's like saying you're going to have a good amount of opportunity to make some money, but that not only that, but that energy is going to sort of like continue throughout the year. This can also be seen as like Saturn and Aries. So when we have Saturn and Aries, then it's a little bit different in the sense that it's like saying that you're working very hard. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of unexpected happenings, okay? When Saturn goes into Aries, things are a little bit unpredictable. They get a little bit out of control in a way. They get like they can be a little bit frustrating, but at the same time, you get a lot done. Like oh my God, it's incredible. Like people who have like, what's a person who has Saturn Aries? I think J-Lo, like Jennifer Lopez has Saturn Aries, and you see how well accomplished this woman is, and she worked hard, but I'm sure she's had tons of obstacles and tons of things she has to go through to get where she needed to go through. And I know she started off as a dancer, so it's like starting off at some place that's like people never expected you to like rise up and get to another place. You know what I mean? They probably thought you would just stay at this one area, but then you work hard and you stay on your grind and you become that superstar. I mean, just notice how there's literally, I think J-Lo's like, at least in America, like one of the very few Latin American superstars, and she has that Saturn and Aries quality. And it's like, I mean, it's sad that she's only one of the few, but that's another story for another time. But it's just saying that it makes somebody super hardworking and super focused, and like they're like machines, guys. Like they don't stop ever. It's like no sleep, no time, gotta go, let's get to this. We're going, okay? So that's what you can expect for 2020. It's a lot of focusing on your goals and getting those done. Like, yeah, 2020 is the year you're gonna come out of this year super impressed with yourself, and not only that, but other people are gonna be impressed with your actions as well. I cannot congratulate you enough. The year hasn't even started. I'm like, good job, guys. Like, you've done it well, but it's just so impressive, like this pile here. Not only that, but if you're looking, like I said, if you're looking for the love life, the two Emperor twice can be like you're gonna meet someone who is also of a very masculine energy, and with the Knight of Wands, this person could be younger than you. Sometimes when we get, two Aries together, they can both be a little hot-headed. Not saying that you're an Aries, but these two cards can be read as Aries coming together, and that can be a little bit like argumentative in a sense, or like both people want things their way, but there's like, obviously, I think pile number one had this, but they had a strong physical attraction. With the Knight of Wands, it's like someone sort of introducing you to things you may not have done before, or taking you to places you may have not gone in a while, or something like that. Like, let's say you wanted to go to the zoo, let's say you wanted to go to the planetarium, let's say you wanted to go to a museum, or if you wanted to go to, I don't know, it could literally a bike riding. It's just anything that you may deem to be exciting or a change of pace. That's kind of what this Knight of Wands implies. So there's definitely going to be a change of pace in 2020. I don't know how your 2019 has been, but given the fact that we started off with the Nine of Pentacles, and what comes before the Nine of Pentacles is the Eight of Pentacles, and when we have the Eight of Pentacles, it's kind of like you trying to dot off all your T's and cross off your T's and dot your I's. It's like saying that you've come out of a period where you've been very diligent and you've making some very calculative choices about where you need to go in life and how you want to live your day-to-day and what kind of lifestyle and life that you want to live, because Earth and Pentacles have to do with your regular everyday to day. And you've taken a hard look exactly what it is that you want to get out of, your life at the moment. And in 2020, it's like you're making all of those things happen. Like you've planned for a while and now it's coming. Okay. So you're going to have a very brilliant 2020. A lot of flirting. For some of you guys, it can even be entering a serious relationship, but it's going to be more, passionate, and you guys are going to be talking as much about the future. I mean, I'm not going to say not at all, because the Emperor always is very like future oriented, but it's mainly that you guys would be focusing on that passion that you would have for each other, and, things that you may have in common, belief systems. That's that's the word I'm looking for. Focusing on similar belief systems, and I think you guys will find that you'll have that in common with quite a few people you'll meet. And also with the Star card, it does indicate meeting like-minded people. And because we have like-minded people, I would say it's like people who are very like professional as well. Just with the Star card being there. Like I said, with romance, it's just that person is coming in and maybe some casual dating, but I don't think you guys will get serious this year. If you're single, if you're not single, then it's like saying, you know, be prepared to spend a good amount of time with your significant other if you're not single. I mean, outside of work, you'll go straight back to them. It won't be like a lot of time with friends and stuff. I mean, despite the Star card being there, it's kind of like saying if you spend time with your friends, it's going to be he or she's going to be there with you. But that is all I have for you, pile number 3. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research on Instagram. And as always, remember, information Friday reads in the description. But remember, I will be gone for the next 2 weeks, and you can look forward to the launch of my website. And don't forget to become an astronaut and subscribe. So thank you guys. Bye. If you've chosen one of the red presents, let's get started on your reading, pile number 4. We have the Hermit. Funny, I think we have one of these for the love readings too. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the 7 of Cups. I keep doing that. We have the 10 of Cups. And we have the 9 of Wands. The first thing that came to mind was like holding down the fort, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the at-home time going on in 2020, a lot of time to yourself, pondering, reflecting, doing whatever it is that you need to do, sorting some thoughts out. Whenever we have the Hermit, and the Hermit's next to the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords has a lot of things going on mentally, a lot of things that don't need to always be there. Sometimes the Knight of Swords can like overanalyze a situation, or they can sometimes find themselves getting very distracted easily. So it we may find yourself thinking very deeply about, you know, one topic, and then all of a sudden your mind kind of switches over to the other topic, and then you're kind of switching to another topic, and then back to the other one. And it's just like in 2020, you're gonna feel like you have maybe not a lot on your mind, but you just feel like you have just it's hard for you to completely, I don't even know how to word it. It's not like you can't focus, but you can't completely focus. You know what I mean? Like you can't really just sit and ponder and think about whatever it is that you feel like you need to think about. Like I know we're following it up with this 7 of Cups energy. So 7 of Cups to me represents either a lot of romantic options or a lot of creative ideas, or you feel like there's a lot of paths that you can be taking in your life right now, whether that's like you deciding whether you want to move to a different country and, you know, become, I don't know, a professional cook, or if you're deciding, oh, maybe I want to stay in this country and I want to go back to school and I want to learn a trade or something like that. Or maybe you're like, oh, I want to date this guy, and this guy, he's very athletic and he's like my physical type. And then maybe you like, okay, I want to date this guy, and this guy's got a personality that's very funny and makes me laugh, and etc. It's just a card that has a lot of options going on with you. And because we have this Knight of Swords energy, and we know that swords have to do like sort of your inner world and inner thoughts. I mean, it does have to do with, you know, speaking to other people as well, which you will be doing, obviously. Let's hope you're not in complete and total hermit mode, okay? You're not going to be in isolation completely. But it's just kind of saying that a lot of these thoughts and options and things are in your head. So this makes me think that it's more creative ideas rather than choosing between 2 people or choosing between 2 career options. This is, I'm not saying that unless you want to choose a creative career, then this would be a part of it. This could be saying, I want to change my life and do something that's creative. Maybe you want to be a singer. Maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to do installations. Maybe you want to do fashion. I'm not sure, whatever it is, makeup. It could be nails. It could be anything artistic. It's just kind of saying you have these creative ideas floating around in your head. And I think with the Hermit here, you're trying to bring it into reality, but you're also trying to fine tune the idea and express your spirit in a way. When we have the Hermit, it is embodied Virgo energy, which is not surprising. So the Hermit kind of, it's interesting the Hermit is associated with Virgo, because Virgo is a little bit more social than the Hermit in general, but like there is that aspect to Virgo where Virgo has to go into its little sort of world to fine-tune ideas and to highly concentrate on something, which is what you'll be doing on 2020. Like, I don't know what it is that you have stored up in your mind, but the cards are saying it's brilliant. You just gotta really work out the details of it, okay? So like I said, I don't know if this is like something artistic. I know for some of you guys, I'm sure it's not art related. Maybe this does have to do with a guy, okay? So let's give that interpretation. If some of you guys, maybe you're thinking over a guy in particular. Now, with the Hermit here, it would imply that you guys are not together. So if you're in a relationship, then I'll give another reading, not a reading, I'll give another interpretation after this one. But for the singles, this kind of indicates that you are maybe interested in a guy and you guys aren't like officially together and you're not quite sure where this is going. And the Seven of Cups is you kind of like all year feeling like you're in this purgatory state with this person. Like you feel like, you know, maybe you guys could build this happy family. Maybe you feel like you guys are not meant to be together. Maybe some days you feel like you guys need some time apart. Maybe you feel like you guys are just having fun. It's just like saying that you don't even know what to think and why, okay? Like sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get caught up in a situationship. And so for some of you in 2020, you may find yourself in a situationship. But that's okay. It's so that you can learn something and learn more about yourself. Because whenever I get the Hermit card, it's always a card sort of indicating learning the ins and out of yourself, like learning what you want, learning what you need, learning who you are as a person. Okay, I think that is why Virgos have this sort of reputation for being a little bit quirky and a little bit like unusual in a sense. Because I mean, if you just look at people who have Venus and Virgo, like Janelle Monáe, Marina and the Diamonds, like look at their music. It's very like unusual, especially if you look at their first one or two albums. It's just a very unusual kind of sound and way of expressing themselves. So when the Hermit comes into play, it has to do with sort of fine-tuning your own nature and knowing more about yourself. So in 2020, there is going to be you finding out just how creative you can be and just what makes you special, what makes you stand out, and who you are as an individual. And you'll be able to express that part of yourself in your love life as well as in other areas. In terms of like career, it's like with the 10 of Cups here, it's usually saying you're like kind of happy with your job situation, but you feel like you can do better. With the 9 of Wands next to the 10 of Cups, it's like saying, you know what, it's not a bad job situation that I'm in, but I know that there's more out there. I know that I can get more out of it. And it feels like this may not be it may be temporary, okay? It may be a temporary time period in your life or a state of being or whatever it is. It's just kind of saying that this is not what I see myself doing like 20 years from now, okay? Like when the 10 of Cups is there, it's like saying, okay, I think this is like the peak of what this job has to offer me. And you can apply that to your school life as well, where you feel like, okay, this is just something I need to do in order to get to that next state, which is how you kind of be viewing, you know, your education in a sense, okay? If you're still in school. Now, in terms of like, you know, like I said, with the romance, with the people who are already in relationships, what this is saying is you're kind of taking a deeper look into you guys as a couple, and you may be sort of reevaluating what it would be like to sort of be with someone else. It's funny that we have the 7 of Cups represents option, and I know I read a study that represents, you know, people usually get divorced at the 7-year mark, and then there's also this saying the 7-year itch. So something about that 7-year time period where people start to sort of pull away and do a lot of reflection. And not only that, but numerology wise, 7s represent being reflective, taking time out to yourself to think things over. And you'll be doing that with your relationship. You're going to wonder if this is the happiness I picture for myself. And with the 10 of Cups here, you may feel like, yeah, I think I am happy in my relationship, but there are a few things that I think need to change, or I think are not something I want to bring with me as we go further into our relationship and take it to another level. We can also expect to spend a lot of family time here in 2020, or not a lot. If it's not family time, then it's time at home for sure. 10 of Cups represents that home environment. Sometimes I get the 10 of Cups to represent not even just home environment, but it's just like the physical actual home itself. Like, it's, you know how they say there's no place like home, but maybe your home is where your heart is. Is that one? That's the saying I'm looking for. So maybe you live somewhere else, but you feel like your heart is another place. You'll start spending more time at the place that your heart is at, okay, if that makes sense. So whether that's your heart being with someone else, or your heart being in your craft, or your heart being in, I don't know, your bed and watching TV or something like that. It's just saying that you'll spend a lot of time where you feel most comfortable. One thing I do have to mention with the 9 of Wands being here is that there will probably be some people coming for your sense of comfort, and you may feel the need to defend yourself. So maybe people are saying, hey, we don't see you enough, like where you've been all 2020, you know, girl, guy. It's just, they're just like, they're looking for you and you're nowhere to be found, okay, in 2020. You go a little bit MIA. It's okay though. With the 9 of Wands here, I do want to also mention that you kind of feel like you are fighting for that free time a little bit. So you may feel other people are putting some responsibilities on you that you don't want to deal with. You know you have to, but you're like, I don't want to. 10 of Cups here is just kind of like taking more time to relax, having more vacation days. It doesn't necessarily mean travel. I mean, the Knight of Swords does travel, but they do more like local travel. So like, let's say you lived in New York and then you went to Jersey or something, and now you find yourself going back in between New York and Jersey the rest of the year. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're traveling very far, okay? You're traveling more than you used to, or taking more trips than you normally would. But overall, I see a very positive year. It's just a year where you're really learning about yourself and you're building upon your own happiness, pile number 4. That is all I have for you, pile number 4. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And don't forget to join the Astronaut fam, because we want you here and you can keep up with all the amazing videos and whatnot. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I hope that you guys love my website, because I'm gonna spend a lot of time and make it beautiful for you guys, or at least acceptable. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, pile number 5, let's get started on your reading. We have Judgment, the 3 of Cups, the Knight of Wands. I think we had that the last one too, or the one before that, the King of Cups, and the Magician. So 2020. Alrighty then. So with Judgment here, we are leaving all that crap behind in 2019. Y'all must have had the same type of year I had if you chose this pile, because this is the pile that says, okay, done with that, refresh button. Okay, you guys hit restart in 2020 and you're like, I'm having fun. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm going out there and I'm living my best life in 2020. Okay, you guys are ringing in the new decade with a bang. All right, I don't know what you guys got planned for New Year's Eve, but it looks like things are going to be fun. If you guys are literally just sitting in your room, then I don't know, I guess you're having a bomb ass time in your room. But this just kind of goes to show that in 2020 you can expect to breathe a sigh of relief. Oh my goodness, like you guys have come through a crazy period. Like, I don't know what's coming on, but whenever I get the Judgment card, it's like saying, enough is enough. Like, I have had this so many times when I've had like issues going on with like at home or home wise, in terms of like, not like family issues going on at home, but more like things that needed to be fixed. And I got the Judgment card indicating like it was Judgment Day, like these problems were getting solved. Now, you know, Judgment Day can be like, I'm coming back at some point, I've noticed, but it's usually like it's solved for now, okay? Like you've managed to give this thing a fresh angle, or give this a fresh start for now. So in 2020, it's going to be like this weight off your shoulders. I don't know what kind of period you are coming from. It's funny because we go from the Sun card to Judgment. So it's like saying there were some good moments in 2020, but we obviously wouldn't need to let bygones be bygones if everything was peachy and keen and like sweet and wonderful and rainbows and sunshine. No, we wouldn't need to put the restart on that. It's more like you have cause to celebrate, like you've had a lot to accomplish, because when we go from the Sun card, before the Sun card, I'm trying to think, it's the Moon card, I believe. And the Moon card is very confusing time period. The Sun is like, okay, well, it was dark and now I'm here to shine a light on whatever it is that you need me to shine a light on. And then we go to Judgment, where it says, okay, remember all that, you know, those issues that we got during the Moon phase, all that psychological damage and all that mishmash, crazy mess that's been messing with you since childhood, or whoever did something to you. We're letting that go because we've got too much to live for and too much we need to do. Now, when we have the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands, I must mention that there is some obviously romantic things at play with the Three of Cups here. I don't know if it's just, usually get the Three of Cups to mean like casual dating, to be honest. I don't get it for anything usually really serious. And if it is serious, then there may be a third party involved. Like maybe not even a third party you know about. Sometimes you may be in a committed relationship, but there's like somebody on the sideline who wishes you weren't, or wishes your partner wasn't. You know what I mean? They're trying to make their way through. That's for the people who are in relationships. For the singles out there, it's kind of saying like, you're going to have some fun. Like it's going to be a good time in 2020. Not to say that there won't be some, you know, F-boys trying to come in, or F-boys or F-girls or whatever, trying to be and come in, be all non-committal, have their way with you and then whatever, toss you to the side like yesterday's trash. Those people are going to try to make their way in, but you're going to be like, you're going to kind of give them a headache. You're going to be the one who they're going to be like, but I can't even manipulate this person. I can't even like find my way in. Like I can't get what I want from this person. They're going to cause you're going to cause them more frustration than they'll ever cause you. Okay. Because like I said, in 2020, we got this Three of Cups that's kind of like sitting at the center of everything. And it's saying like, you know what? I'm here to party. I'm here to have a good time, and I'm here to enjoy my life. There's going to be, I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some drama, and it could be drama among your friend group. It could just be drama when it comes to your dating life. Like I said, maybe it's just referring to the drama of these ridiculous people thinking they could come in and, you know, sweep you off your feet, but you've heard it, you've done it, you've seen it, you see it coming from a mile away, especially with the Magician card here. That's a very calculating and very intelligent card. It's also a card that has to do with manipulation. So in order to sort of be manipulative, you need to be aware of the world around you, you know, the archetypes that fit within. Okay, you're going to have people who fit certain patterns and certain behaviors, and when it comes in 2020, you're going to be highly aware of those type of people, so you're not going to let them get to you. With the Magician here, it also sort of represents a new start, which goes on with this Judgment Day here. The Magician is telling me that when it comes to either your career, your love life, whatever it may be, well, first of all, no one's going to play you. If they try to play you, it's going to come back and bite them. If there's some drama, let's say someone manages to get something over on you anyway, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna come back and bite them in the butt, and you're the one who's gonna be like, whatever, don't really care, like I'm living my best life. You're not gonna let it bother you. But like with the Magician here, it's kind of like saying you're just gonna take it on the chin. You're gonna learn from it. You're gonna say, I don't really care. All right, you're just unbothered in 2020. Like that's your hashtag, a hashtag unbothered 2020. All right, put that out there. on your Instagram feeds and whatever you need to put it on. But that is you in 2020. The Magician here, as I was saying, like indicating you working on different projects, working on you mastering a craft, working on your skill set. This can also be a card that has to do with intellectual growth and a growth in skills, a growth in education, being able to master and manipulate the world around you. It sort of reminds me of alchemy, which I've just started to get into. I guess the Magician is highly associated with alchemy, but like I haven't studied it too much, but I've just gotten into it. So in a way, like I might have to pick this card too, because it's embodying some stuff that I'm sort of going through as well. But basically it's saying that you're taking things to a higher level and you're learning to step into your own in 2020. There are some viable good options for you, like this King of Cups person, but I won't lie, this King of Cups person coming in may be a little bit insecure about, you know, whether you may desire them as much as they may desire you, because it's coming from this Knight of Wands energy. So it's kind of like saying, it's kind of like if you're an attractive person, which I'm sure you are since we got this Knight of Wands person, and they recognize that you have all these sort of other attractive people around you, and they feel like they may not have anything other to offer you than emotional support, not realizing that sometimes that's enough, okay? So for them, you could have somebody coming in who's really good, really kind-hearted, but they just very insecure. But anyway, back to this Magician card. I'm like, anyway, goodbye, love life. Back to this Magician card. It's like saying that it's a card for entrepreneurship. So if you are somebody who's an entrepreneur starting their own business, like let's say you were starting your own tarot business or own online thing, then this would be a very good indicator of that doing well, or at least that you're getting that idea off the ground and receiving some sort of appreciation for it, or being other people being wowed by your abilities to conquer the world around you. This is also sort of saying that you're coming out of this year with a new state of mind, because the Magician is someone who looks at the world and says, well, how can I get all of these elements to do what I need them to do? And this candle with two ends, at least I think it's like a candle or a wand. It's like this idea that they have floating above their head, especially with the infinity symbol here. It's like saying you have this sort of inspiration, this internal light that you're getting from yourself that's going on forever. Like you're like, anytime someone tries to burn out your candle, dim your shine, it's just, it keeps going. It keeps going and you can't stop. It doesn't matter what other people are saying or doing. You're like, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm figuring, I pretty much know, at least by the end of the year, you're going to have a good idea of how to get to where you want to go. And you're going to start making progress in that, okay? But honestly, I get the feeling that 2020 is just going to be a very fun and exciting year for you, where you are surrounding yourself more with people who just make sense. Like I said, if you come from a very dramatic friend group, or you feel like you've been surrounded by people who were toxic for you, whether that's like coworkers, whether that's, you know, classmates, whether that's teachers, I don't know, family, whatever it is, you're just letting that go and you're peeling that back and saying, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I want to be with people who are interested in the things I'm interested in. And also with the Magician, I should say, it also has to do with like-minded hobbies and people with common interests. So that could be also part of your everyday environment. But really 2020 is about like conquering your destiny and getting closer to wherever it needs to be in life. Now, work can be a little bit chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. People in your work environment are going to try to bring you into their petty drama. You could have some people at work sort of dating each other and ended up being very disastrous, and you hearing one side of the story, and then another person hears another side of the story, and then this person tells you that and da 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 da, and you're just like, all right, this is a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, in 2020, you're not gonna wanna hear it. You're gonna be like, I just don't wanna deal with this petty, emotional ridiculousness. However, if this King of Cups is your boss, then it's saying that your boss is going to recognize, even though there's going to be some things that you do that they may not really want to have gone about doing things that way to get the job done. They're going to recognize your effectiveness, and it's going to bring a sense of at least admiration towards them. They're going to like you a lot more. I don't know if they're going to give you a raise or not. I don't see any like money cards popping off in here. If anything, it would be like this would be you asserting your own independence and you coming up with ideas for yourself to go outside your own work environment. Okay, this is you putting in your efforts to whatever it is that you want to do. And for your job is just like something there to just support you. You don't really view it as something, at least in 2020, you won't really view it as something being very like important unless this is like something that you love doing, and you want to stick to it. Then this is saying you're going to try to bring yourself to the next level. Now you may not get there right in 2020, but by the end of the year, you're going to know how to do so. All right. So that is all I'm getting for you in this next coming up year. A lot of people being impressed by you, maybe growing your social circle, maybe some drama with work environment and stuff. Boss pretty much likes you, just may not agree with everything, how you do it, you know, and etc. and everything else that I mentioned. All right. So I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you guys come back and join the Astronaut fam. If you are not a part of it, make me happy and join. And that is all I have for you with pile number 5. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And I will see you guys in 2020. Wow, it's been a crazy year, and I can only wish you guys the best. Au revoir.